and welcome to Connecticut APEX's podcast, The GovCon Mindset. This podcast is focused on breaking down the world of government contracting into bite-sized pieces of information for experienced and new contractors.
Today, we will be introducing one of our procurement specialists, Jonathan Hart. Jonathan holds an AAS in intelligence operations. He has a diverse background, including work as a procurement agent for a food manufacturer, and has experience with sales, data entry, logistics, intelligence analysis, foreign relations, international business, and apparatus maintenance. He currently serves in the Army Reserves as a sergeant and is a volunteer firefighter with the rank of captain. Jonathan will passionately advocate for veterans and first responder-owned businesses.
Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to being a part of this podcast tonight.
So Jonathan, I know you have that special connection with veterans due to your active duty military service. So can you tell us any ways that veterans can be included in the world of government contracting?
I'd love to, Meredith. So, as veterans, we tend to not realize how many resources we have available, but thankfully, due to fellow veterans leading the path and blazing trails for us, we have a lot of opportunities for us. So, in the beginning stages of becoming a small business owner, you have the original SBA Boots to Boot business program, which is something that SBA hosts for both people transitioning out of the military and those who have already transitioned out. And then also there's SCORE, as well as reaching out to the VA via their federal website, which is vetbiz.va.gov. And then also we have a bunch of different networks that we have access to help with the day-to-day aspects of our business careers. So that would be your Small Business Development Center or counselors, as well as your Veteran Business Outreach Council, both of which have access to agencies throughout the United States, the CONUS, so continental U.S. And then you have, depending on where you are, you have a few offices near that. But then we also have other resources available to us called American Corporate Partners, which is a mentorship program that connects veterans with business leaders and industrial professionals for career development and networking. There's also the Veteran Business Network, which is similar to that. A lot of these have redundancies, but they all add different resources to you that generally you wouldn't be available to. So there's also the National Veteran-Owned Business Association, Vet to CEO, and also the Veterans Entrepreneur Portal. So a lot of these programs are all either from a nonprofit organization or through the Veterans Affairs.
That's awesome to hear the comprehensive availability of those resources and tools for veteran-owned businesses. So just a question on behalf of those veteran-owned businesses, what's the cost of working with these resources?
So the cost for these is all free. So anything that's done through the federal government, either the Veterans Affairs, the SBA, SBDC, VOBC, it's all free to the business person.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'd love if you could put together a list of those resources so that we can provide it as a follow-up to our audience.
Oh, absolutely. I plan to.
Speaking of the federal government, we know that there is a federal certification for veteran-owned businesses. So could you elaborate a little more about that, and how does one become certified?
Oh, that's a great question, Andres. So we actually have two certifications done through the SBA. One is SDVOSB and the VOSB. So those stand for the Veteran Owners Small Business or Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Businesses. So the really only difference between the two is if you have a service-connected disability or a VA rating. And some people might, initially get shocked by that, but even if you have a VA rating of 0, which means that the VA knows that you have injuries and is somewhat related to the military, they just can't give you a high percentage for it, either due to just lack of information or lack of being able to track where that injury occurred. So even with a 0% VA rating, you're still qualified for that SDVOSB. And so the second part of your question, Andres, was how do you get that? How do you certify yourself? Well, thankfully, the SBA took over this process and it's no longer done through the VA. So right now, the SBA holds all the certification processes now. So you log into the certifications portal, and you click on your veteran OSB or service disabled veteran OSB certification. So to qualify, you have to be obviously a veteran, and you have to own at least 50% of the percentage of the company. You also can't have like a small part in the business. You have to be on the ground, day-to-day management and control, and have long-term decision-making authority. And as with everything with the SBA, you do have to qualify with the small business according to their standards. And then once you have that paperwork set up, you need to be registered with SAM just like every other small business, which PTech, APEX, we love to help you guys with that and look forward to doing that with you. So once you're registered in SAM and have, meet the threshold, you do have to apply certain documentation with that. So the VA requires you to submit documentation that verifies your veteran status, ownership, and control of the business. Some documents may include your DD-214 or other evidence of veteran status. That could be orders that you've had in the past or awards and stuff like that. You also need to have your business ownership documents, so articles of incorporation, stock certificates, breakdown of your principals. And then that leads to proof of control, which is your operating agreements, and everyone's favorite financial documents, which can be tax returns, profit loss statements, things like that. And then once you have everything submitted, you will undergo the verification process, which basically means the VA reads everything, verifies everything, and then either gives you the thumbs up or thumbs down. But if anything comes up where they say no, they will respond with an email and let you know why it got denied, and then give you the opportunity to fix any issues that you might have.
Well, that seems like a very arduous process for most folks trying to get registered. How does APEX play a role in this?
So APEX's role in this whole organization or situation really is to assist small business owners navigate the perils that come with government contracting. So that's, getting registered in sam.gov, understanding what their small business dynamic profile is, how to find that, how to update that, things like that. And just a term that we like to use is red teaming. So basically, we review your documents for you. We provide insight. We never force anything on you guys. It's kind of just here as a resource to you guys that what you're reading and what you're submitting is along the right lines of what the government's looking for.
Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out, Jonathan, because that is something that we hear a lot from our clients, is that it's somewhat intimidating to get into this space, and sometimes it's not exactly clear what the qualifications are. So thank you for going into depth there. Now that we know about the SBA certification, why is it important that that's an option to veterans?
I love that question, Meredith. So why is it important to get your SBA certification? Well, it allows you to have access to certain set-asides that majority of the small businesses and even large businesses don't have access to. So the SBA's goal, and through the federal government, they've maintained that they want at least 5% contract set-asides for both the veteran-owned small business and service-disabled veteran small business. Recently, that has been ratified with a new legislation that passed. It's currently going through the works, but as of right now, it's at 5% each. But because of how great we are as veterans and how that we sort of transfer our skills from the military to the private life, we've increased the actual number. So it's about 7% of veteran-owned small business and still 5% service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses that have set-aside contracts and sole sources. So also with that, having that certification, you also have access to sort of GSAs that aren't necessarily given up to the public, as well as access to resources that the government is trying to get rid of. So if there's a surplus of either office equipment, machinery, things like that, and the government's been updating it and they no longer need it, they offer that up to veterans first so that they have access to it, and it's at cost for the government, or it's a small increase for cover anything that comes up with transferring of equipment and supplies.
That's awesome, and that's an exclusive opportunity that I think not enough people know about, that is out there, and that's an available resource for you.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's, low key something that people forget. And then that's why we're here. We're here to inform and update people.
So, what are some upcoming events that we can expect from either the resource partners that you mentioned or with APEX that veterans might be benefiting from?
So, one of the topics that APEX loves to work with is cybersecurity. So, dealing with adversaries, people and nation states that, aren't the friendliest with the U.S. They know that they can get into businesses, into our systems via cybersecurity threats. So, on January 28th, 2025, myself and one of my fellow counselors, Kendi, is hosting a cybersecurity webinar where we discuss like general information about it and sort of introduce certain partners that we have access to that provides information and teaching so that small businesses can protect themselves so that they're no longer, susceptible to attacks. Following that up, one of the VA's programs that they have is something that they call VetBiz Ladies. So VetBiz Lady is a program that the VA set up to increase female veterans and small business owners. So every Tuesday they held office hours and networking, and you can find that on the VA website. And it's a great resource. Definitely, I've reached out to these ladies. I've introduced myself and provided APEX contact information. And it's something that helps, a minority group, which is, women owners, so that they know that they're not alone and they have resources that's exclusive to them, which is something that they definitely deserve. And then following that up on January 23rd, the VA, and they send out email reminders about this all the time, they have a General Dynamics Information Technology, GDIT, which is a virtual business opportunity session where you get to meet with General Dynamic, introduce your skills, and see if they have something available for you. And then later down the road, back down in October, the VA is hosting their National Veteran Small Business Engagement, which is going to be in Ohio, I believe Cleveland, and it's going to be from October 7th to October 9th.
Wow, that is a lot of great events that are coming up. So please make sure to check the description on this video. We'll make sure to link to all of these resources where you can get signed up or registered to attend.
Okay.
Jonathan, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. This has been wonderful information that you shared. We'll make sure to send out the additional resources once we get them from you to make sure that everyone is able to access all of those resources and tools to help you succeed in this space.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved being here, guys, and I really appreciate having the opportunity to share one of my passions with you guys and help our fellow small business owners.
We really value you being on the team. You've really brought a whole nother perspective that we were missing out on. So thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Jonathan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And to our audience, if you have a topic that you'd like us to cover in our next episode, please let us know in the comments, or you can reach out to us at info@ctapex.org, which is info@ctapex.org.
If you'd like to be notified for future episodes, please consider subscribing to the CTAPEX channel and turning on notifications by hitting the bell icon, or staying up to date on our social media. This was Andres Caldache
And Meredith Glasgow on Connecticut APEX. Thank you for tuning in to the GovCon Mindset, empowering your government contracting journey one insight at a time. Until next time, stay focused and keep moving forward.